Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
everyone. Hello and welcome. How are you today? This is another fun webinar, a MyES webinar. We are happy to be here with you. We are looking at Huckleberry Hound and his friend. I don't know if that's a cat or a panther. What would you say it is, Jenna?
Well, that's a good question. Maybe it's a panther.
I think they are so cute though. And this is like a cartoon from the late 1950s. I
Ooh.
love old cartoons. With the music, it's so beautiful. I just love like it's all orchestrated and beautiful.
hmm
Do you like cartoons?
Um, I don't watch cartoons much,
Okay, you're
honestly.
not a fan.
No,
Okay.
no.
Because we have like later in this focus, it talks about dogs, and that's what made me look up photos of dogs. But okay, let us introduce ourselves then with our lovely backgrounds.
Yeah, so okay, I'll introduce myself. I'm Jenna. I live in Bologna. I've taught at my English school in Bologna for almost a year now,
Nice.
which is nice. And I'm from the Bahamas originally. If you don't know anything about the Bahamas, it's an English-speaking country in the Caribbean.
Awesome. Have people asked you before what language you speak in the Bahamas?
They do, yeah. Sometimes they ask, and
I
yep.
guess, yeah, because in the Caribbean, there's many different languages that are spoken, no? Right? Like in Haiti, they speak French. No?
Yeah, the main languages are French, English, and Spanish.
Interesting. Yeah, the Dominican Republic, they speak Spanish. No, that's what's so interesting about that like it's called, I don't know if this is politically correct, but I guess once upon a time it was called Hispaniola, right? The
Mhm.
island where it's
Yeah,
shared between Dominican Republic and Haiti. That's so
absolutely.
interesting to me that one island has both French and Spanish on the same island.
Yeah, it is
Really
quite
neat.
interesting. Two countries on one island. I mean, I guess what makes it similar to the UK, but yeah, in the Caribbean, it's quite uncommon.
Yeah. Have you been to Haiti?
No, my sister's been. She went for a football competition, a football game.
Uh-huh.
But no, I've never been.
Oh, interesting. Did your sister like it?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, I think they were all quite surprised because none of the people on her team had been to Haiti, so maybe it was a little different from what they were expecting. But
Right.
they had a good time.
That's really
Mhm.
cool. Nice. And okay, I'll introduce myself. I'm Monique. I'm not from the Caribbean. I think the Caribbean's beautiful though. I guess the most Caribbean I've been to is the east coast of Costa Rica, particularly Puerto Viejo, that I remember with
Mhm.
very fondly, very, very fondly. These friends had a party like in the rainforest, right along the beach. Awesome, awesome. Anyway, so I'm from not that far from the Bahamas, though. I'm from the United States. I'm from Los Angeles, California, so Southern California. And I like to play cards. Haven't been playing cards much lately, but I do like to play cards. I love to play chess. Love it.
Hmm.
I just love this game. I'm not that good, but I do love it. On Saturday, I have a chess tournament coming up, which I'm excited about.
Oh,
Hopefully, my brother from Brooklyn, New York, will join again. He was with
hmm.
us 2 weeks ago, so that's fun.
Nice.
And I like yoga, and I also teach at Bologna Mille, so the school in the center of Bologna. And I think I've been teaching at MyES maybe 2 years, almost 2 years.
Hmm.
So that's
Mhm.
quite nice. And what else? Yeah, and we have a lovely focus for you all today. But we want to start with an intro question, which is what would
Yeah.
you do if you randomly found 10,000 euros more in your bank account? So, Jenna, I have a question for you. What would you do if you randomly found 10,000 euros more?
Wow, that's a lot of money. So I'm a very honest person. I have to say, this has never happened to me, but once I got sent an amount of money that was not meant for me from my workplace. And so what happened was my boss called me like the next day and said, sorry, Jenna, but you may have noticed you got paid a bit more than usual this month. That was meant for
a lot more.
Yeah. And so I just had to go into the bank and declare that I would be sending it back to the.
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah. Were there fees to send it back?
Sorry?
Were there fees to send it back?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. It's been a while now. I don't remember if there was a fee or not, but if there was, my boss would have taken care of that.
Yeah.
So
when you saw that money in your bank account, what did you think? What were your thoughts?
I thought, oh wow, maybe it's a bonus, like originally, and then I thought, yeah, but for what? What have I done differently this month?
Being a fabulous person. And what would you have done if that would have been a bonus, let's say?
Oh, I would have been happy. I definitely would have kept it.
What would you have done? How would you have used that extra money?
I probably would have saved it for something special, maybe a trip somewhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whenever I'm given like a bit extra money, more than usual, I like to save it for something in particular.
That's smart, yeah. I mean, personally, if I randomly found 10,000 euros more in my bank account, the first thing I would do is pay off debt. I don't have a lot of debt, but I do have some debt. Maybe I'll write that word here. Debt is unfortunately an important vocabulary word, which is money that you owe. Money that you need to pay back, often to credit card companies, right? So I come from the States, as we call the US. I come from the States, just so everyone sees that debt, money that you owe, money that you need to pay back, often to credit card companies, right? So I come from the States, and it's a culture very much of plastic, of using plastic, of paying with plastic, of using credit cards for everything. And it's very dangerous because you can seem to have more money than you do. And incredibly common. I don't know if it is in the Bahamas, but in the US, maybe less so now, just because there's been so many financial crises around this. And because you really end up spending so much money on interest, right?
Yeah.
It ends up being very expensive. And people, I mean, what happens is someone will have 5 credit cards and pay one off with the other one. So it gets difficult to manage. So I still have some debt remaining. Not a lot, but that's probably the first thing I would do. Then I think I would like to surprise my mom. And she's often concerned about my financial situation. I live in Italy, I mean, I live a much simpler and much more kind of much less money spent, less money earned type of life. And so my mom is sometimes concerned. So I would love to send her some money. That would be awesome, just as a present, just to be like, hey, Mom, I love you very much. Something like that.
For next birthday, maybe.
Right?
When's her birthday?
Her birthday is February 10th.
Okay, well,
even Jenna, just like totally a surprise. That would be so cool. That would be that would be a reason to have this happen. Just to have the satisfaction of gifting this to my mom. Hello, Valentina. Nice to see you. Valentina. We are so lucky we have Valentinas. Awesome. So Valentina and Valentina, we are asking an interesting question, which is, what would you do? So it's conditional. What would you do if you randomly found 10,000 euros more in your bank account, right? So I said I would pay off debt. I would gift some of this money to my mom. Maybe I would gift some to my brother as well. My brother lives in Brooklyn, and he's a little concerned about the current situation there. Unemployment is very high in the US right now. So, and then I think I would also do what you suggested, Jenna, and keep some, maybe put some aside in savings. That's a good idea. Yeah. And maybe buy an ice cream or something, like maybe something little also. Yeah.
Do you think you can manage an ice cream for 10,000?
I don't know. It could be like what is it, Damien Hirst, like some very special ice cream that's really expensive. I don't know. Is there anything food-wise that you would buy if you like had this unlimited budget?
Oh gosh, I've never thought about this. Something really extravagant. Ooh, I don't know. What's the
Well,
most
that's very, very, very practical. I would buy a new car. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, buy a new car. Maybe I would go to like an amazing sushi restaurant, although I don't eat sushi often, but I remember that you love sushi, right?
I do, yeah.
What about like maybe I could invite all my friends and colleagues to an amazing sushi dinner? That would be cool too, right?
Nice. Yeah, I would, yeah, I'd be happy.
I would be happy. Yeah, absolutely. So I would say let's take a look at our focus for the day, which is ding, 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 right here. So what would you do? A common question to ask someone, right? What would you do if? Or I would go to Polynesia, since the trip is very expensive. Jenna, would you go to Polynesia?
Sure, yeah.
Hey,
definitely.
Yeah, okay, good example, Valentina. Fantastic. So what would you do? What are our objectives today for our focus?
So in this focus activity, we're going to revise the second and the third conditional, yeah, asking and answering hypothetical questions. What would you do if?
Exactly.
Questions.
Hypothetical, so meaning not real. What would you do if, like our intro question here, this is hypothetical, right? This is like not real, at least not right now. Maybe after the focus, we'll all go and check our bank accounts. But until then, until we actually see this 10,000 euros, it's hypothetical, right? So yeah, it's a hypothesis, right? Cool. So tell us when the second conditional is used, please. And it's formed. In the meantime, what is that photo of, Jenna? Can you?
In New York.
Yeah. And what building?
Chrysler building? Oh, I don't know.
No, I believe
New York.
I think it's the Empire State Building, which is what's cool about the Empire State Building is that they often light it up connected to something. So maybe, for example, this might be Christmas time and they lit it up to be red and green, right? It's neat. It's neat. It's very, very tall, obviously, but it's cool because you look up and you, at nighttime especially, you'll see it lit up all different colors. For Pride, they did like rainbow colors that went up and down. Yeah, it's really kind of like the Eiffel Tower in Paris, right? Anyway, so when is the second conditional used and how is it formed, right?
So remember
the form. Go ahead.
So remember this lesson, we're talking about hypothetical things. Yeah. Okay, Valentina's responded. I would attend different interesting trainings abroad and I would travel and work abroad. Nice.
Cool. Remember, it's the bare infinitive. Whenever we use, whether we're talking about the conditionals or with modals, because would is a modal verb also, remember we need the bare infinitive without to and in its bare form. So we won't conjugate it, right? So I would be the subject plus, so check this out, Valentina. I think it might be just a typing error, but I would, so I would attend trainings, I would travel and work abroad, right? I think you know that, but just wanted to make sure and just to remind everyone this. I would go, I would travel, I would work.
Mm-hmm.
So let's reveal this here. I'll get my
Yeah.
trusty harmonica here.
So we've got if plus the past simple, would plus the bare infinitive.
Exactly. If plus past simple, would plus bare infinitive. Yeah. So important to remember when we're talking about dreaming, right? Remember, the second conditional is about dreamers. If I won the lottery, I would go to Polynesia, for example. I don't know. Can you share, Jenna, what you said earlier, which was really interesting about remembering the tense, that it's not in the past, but it's in the present?
Right. Okay. So we're going to look at some examples of the second conditional. It's important to remember that we're talking about a hypothetical situation in the present. Yeah, something that's not true now, or something that you imagine for yourself now, but it's not real.
Exactly. Yeah, so don't get confused about it starting with if and the past simple. So let's see some examples here. Why don't, Jenna, you read the first, I'll read the second, you read the third.
Okay. If I won the lottery, I would sail around the world.
If I could live anywhere, I would live in New York City.
If I were taller, I would play basketball.
Yeah, exactly. So these are three examples using the second conditional. So tell us, for example, if I choose one of these three, Jenna.
Okay. For the first, this
Okay.
is maybe just one thing I would do. Similar to Valentina, if I won the lottery, I would use it on my education. So I would probably take a course or several, well, not just one, several different courses in something that I find interesting and learn new skills.
For example, like what would you like to take a course in?
It'd be nice to take like a cooking course or jewelry making course, surfing even.
Yeah. Are they expensive, the courses?
They're not that expensive, but I would take so many, like I would just, when I finish one course, I would start another.
Nice. Yeah.
Maybe just several different courses at once.
Yeah. If I could take any course, I think I would take a course also in cooking, vegetarian cooking, though. I'm really interested in how to get a lot of flavor without having like meat in my diet and stuff. So vegetarian cooking, definitely yoga. I did a not huge, but a bit of a big investment for me at least. And over New Year's, I went to a yoga retreat. But it was so cool. It was so rewarding and so beneficial for my life. Like it was such a good investment. But it's not something that I do. It's actually, I had never done it. It was my first time doing a yoga retreat, but I just felt I wanted to invest in doing that.
Yeah.
But if I won the lottery, I think I would do another yoga retreat. Yeah, for sure. Can you give us other examples? If I won the lottery, so using the second conditional, right? Second conditional for dreamers. If I won the lottery, actually, this is interesting. If I won the lottery, you could ask me, Jenna, and I'm really bad at reading tarot cards, but I brought them with today. My last focus was about strength in numbers. It was about idioms. So we could even try, like you could say, what if, and I could say, you want to try? Ask a question and I'll pull one card for you.
Any question?
Yeah, any question? Let's just
In
see
the present. But with if I or
you choose. You choose. If you have any question. In the meantime, we want you all to let us know. Give us some examples. If I won the lottery, I would, right? Give us some examples.
Okay, my question is, what will my life be like in 5 years' time?
Okay, let's see. What will Jenna's life be like? Hi, Natsuni. It's so nice to see you. How are you? Naduni came by yesterday too. It's great to see you. Naduni, we're asking a question. We want to know in the second conditional, if you won the lottery,
what would you do?
In the meantime, Jenna's life in 5 years' time could be one of, it's the Ace of Swords, right? So hi, Elena from Padova. Welcome. Oh, sorry, Padova. From Verona. Welcome. Nice to see you. We're talking about the second conditional right now. We looked at the form if plus the past simple, would plus the bare infinitive, and we're asking you all to give us some examples of your own.
Yeah.
If I won the lottery, la-di-da.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, good. So Naduni says, I'm fine. Lovely. Elena says, I'm Elena from Verona. And Naduni asks, Jenna, how are you?
Oh, I'm very good.
Awesome. Yeah, me too. Naduni, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little hungry. It's almost lunchtime. I mean, it's, yeah. And not only am I hungry, but I don't know what I'll have for lunch today. So, but yeah, so tell us if, and we'll move forward in a minute, but if I won the lottery, what would you do?
If you find this one difficult, you can answer any of the others. If I could live anywhere, what was the other one? If I were taller or if I were shorter.
Yeah, so the question is this. I see that Valentina has given us an answer. So the question is, what would you do if you won the lottery? Right, remember, these are clauses. They can be flipped around, right? I would do this if I won the lottery, or if I won the lottery, I would. Naduni says, haha. Okay. What is Valentina saying?
If I won the lottery, I would work less, yes, and travel around the world. And remember the L before the D.
Right, world. Yeah, that's a very nice idea, Valentina. That's very nice. I like it. Good. So yeah, world, right? With that funny L sound. Oh, can you say world 3 times?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so world, world, world. Try it at home too. World, world, world. Very difficult word. Naduni says, if I won the lottery, I would travel around the world. Awesome. Yeah. I think, yeah, I would too. If I won the lottery, I would travel around the world. I mean, how cool would that be? No?
It
would be so interesting. All right, fabulous, everyone. So let's move forward here and look at some other questions. Jenna, can you read the first?
Yeah. What would you do if you won $1 million in the lottery and you had to spend it in 10 days?
Exactly. No problem, Valentina. No problem. So this is hypothetical, but it's also a bit crazy because the idea is that you win $1 million, but you only have 10 days to spend this money. And then the money, like, have you seen at the ATMs where if you try to break in to the bank, the money gets covered in ink and it's not usable, right? So let's say 10 days from when you win this money, it disappears. Valentina says, if I won the lottery, I would build a swimming pool at my home. Are you serious, Valentina? Where does Valentina live? Valentina, you have space in your place for a swimming pool?
Lovely.
I don't have any space even for a bathtub.
Maybe she would buy a house, a big house with a swimming pool.
Yeah. But she says my home, so it seems like she already did that. That's cool, Valentina. Yeah. So we want to know, if you won $1 million in the lottery and had to spend it in 10 days, what would you do? Jenna, what would you do?
I would send a big chunk of that money to my parents because I wouldn't be where I am today without them.
No, so sweet. A little heart.
And then I choose, I don't know where I would go, but I would choose maybe 1 or 2 countries to travel to with a group of friends.
That's awesome. Yeah, if I won $1 million in the lottery and had to spend it in 10 days, I would definitely donate some of it to charity. I would definitely, I would give, like, I don't know, maybe 200. No, it's not. Because did you see how Trump took the funding from the World Health Organization away? Like he
No.
stopped funding. I don't understand how that works, but it sounds awful. It sounds terrible,
It
especially
does.
in these times. So I mean, if it was today, I would definitely donate
Oh
as
yeah.
much as possible to the health systems, right?
Yeah.
Like doctors, maybe Doctors Without Borders, which is and like an NGO I quite like.
Right.
Okay, Valentina says, what's that?
That'd be really good.
Yeah. Valentina says, in the countryside, but at my parents' home, a second home. Nice. So Valentina, you would say in the countryside because it's a specific article, a definite article, not indefinite, right? Not a countryside random. It's specific. So in the.
Yeah.
Elena.
Elena, if I won the $1 million, or if I won $1 million in the lottery, I would travel around the world and I would buy a home for everyone in my family.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a good idea, Elena. Yeah. Can you buy a house for me also? First of all, I would buy new clothes, shoes, and then I would donate to poor people.
Oh, very good.
Beautiful, Naduni. Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful. So let's see another example here. So, Jenna, would you like to read the second? What would you do if?
What would you do if you had the chance to travel around the world, all expenses paid? Yeah, so your flight, your hotel, bus tickets, whatever, food for 7 days, but would lose your job in the meantime. So at the same time.
Yeah, so all expenses paid means you pay nothing, right? What about in the meantime? In the
meantime, at the same time, or.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, if you had the chance to travel around the world, all expenses paid for 7 days. So only 7 days, right? Is that very long? It's 1 week.
Yeah.
But you lose your job.
It says, if I won $1 million in the lottery, I would travel to South America, starting a new life there. That'd be interesting.
Which country? I want to know which country you would travel to. Also, remember, my favorite preposition is to, because when we talk about travel, we use to. Not I would travel to. Unless you're in South America already, you need to get there. You need to go. So movement. I move the harmonica to the other side. I move my pen to the other side of the table. But that's awesome. I want to know which country in South America. Jenna, if you could, so if you decided to move to South America, which country would you move to?
Oh, this is the thing. I haven't visited every country in South America. I've visited very few. It's hard to make a decision, but I really want to visit Costa Rica.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely recommend Costa Rica. It's awesome. Since the last webinar, I think we talked about it, and I also talked with Nick about it. I was like, gosh, what a gorgeous place. It's amazing. Just that, I mean, Central America in general is so lush. It's just so beautiful, right? And I think I would move to, it's a very tough question, but probably either Argentina or Chile, which are two countries that I've been to and spent some time in. Choose though.
It is.
Probably if it was like I'm moving tomorrow, then Buenos Aires. But if I had some time to think about it, I would probably look for like work there or something like, you know, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool.
It would be, yeah. Really nice.
So Valentina says, I would do the tour of the world with my parents and sister and buy a home. Okay, awesome. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Valentina, because I would tour the world and home. So when you say I would, you can follow it with the bare infinitive and say different things. I would, for example, I would, for lunch, I would eat an apple, drink apple juice, and have dessert. You don't need to repeat the I would. So well done, Valentina. That's excellent. Okay. Elena.
Elena says, is the problem to lose the job in this moment? Okay. Sorry, without to only lose. Is the problem lose the job?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, you would say, the problem is.
The problem is, you can say the problem is I would lose my job.
Yeah, or the problem would be losing your job.
Mm.
Okay, so then what do you do, right? That's the question. What do you do? What would you do? It's difficult. What would you do? I don't know. I really don't know. What would you do? I mean,
I would take it.
You would?
Yeah, you're still employable afterwards. It's not like all employability goes out the window.
That's true. That's true.
There won't be jobs will the workplace is not going to disappear. I mean, jobs are not going to disappear. So
yeah. Good, very good vocabulary. You would still be employable. Means someone would still, you could still be hired. You could still work. That's a very interesting idea. Yeah. I really am not sure. I'm not sure how to answer that one. It's such a hypothesis. It's so hypothetical that I can't imagine that ever happening. I did, however, I won a photography competition in the year 2000 while I was working on an album. So I was working, and something similar came up. It was all expense paid to Japan.
Oh, wow.
And I had 1 week notice, and I asked my boss, can I go? And she said yes. She actually put the entire recording of the album on hold. Mind you, this is an album that took about 2 years to make. So it wasn't like a month or something. It was like the album was going on forever anyways. So that was cool. That was really cool. And I didn't lose my job, which was really neat. But
good.
Yeah.
And I need to see some of your photographs because you're obviously.
The photographs are actually not great. I just like to. I have no background in photography at all, which is why it's so funny. And I think partially that's why I won, because I'm very creative, right? I'm a very creative person. Like music is my field, right? But with photography, I love everything to do with the arts. And a friend of mine had told me about this camera called Lomo. And so I started taking Lomo pictures. And the whole idea was shoot from the hip. Take a picture like that. And I started doing double exposition, right? So the photos were cool. Okay. I don't want to say they weren't good but from a technical side, there wasn't a science behind it. But from a creative side, they were cool. I can share a couple of pictures with you later. Yeah. So yeah. It was fun. Valentina, I'm sorry, but I would be sure of not losing my job before. Okay. I think you mean if you knew you wouldn't lose your job, then you would go. And Elena?
I would travel around the world, but I wouldn't lose my job. Okay. No, but the idea is, so this is an imaginary scenario, right? This is not a real situation. We're saying, imagine you had only one choice. Yeah. Either you lose either.
We can look at this. Check this out, Elena. So I would, conditional, travel around the world if, and then we have the past simple, if I didn't lose my job, right? So take a look at that, everyone. Make sure it's clear. I would travel around the world if I didn't lose my job.
Yeah.
And remember, Elena, there's not two. We need the bare infinitive. So not I would travel, I would travel, right?
Yeah. Remember, these questions they're hypothetical. So of course, this is not necessarily something that would happen to you, but you're imagining, if you had the opportunity to travel around the world, but lose your job, what would you prefer to do? Keep your job and not travel, or travel around the world and lose your job?
It's a hard question. These are difficult questions because it's not real. Because it's not real makes it more difficult to answer, right? Let's see one more example here. So we see, what would you do if you left something in a locked building? For example, if you left your keys in a locked building. Okay, I would travel around the world. Awesome. Good. So you left something in a locked building. So what does locked mean?
Locked is closed with a key. Yeah, you can't open unless you have a key of some kind.
What would you do if you left something in a locked building?
It depends. It depends. Maybe, okay, let's say in my house, you would have to. Did somebody once tell me that you can get, like, no, not the fire department, or a locksmith, or maybe your landlord has a spare key, or another flatmate. If you're living with someone else, call them. Yeah, so it depends what the building is.
Well, for sure. And it depends what's inside. If it's your water bottle, you're like, big deal. If it's your keys to your house or your wallet or your driver's license, a bit more important. Yes, Elena. So I didn't lose past. Exactly. That's the past. I lose. I lost. I didn't lose. Yeah. So this question here, what would you do if you left something in a locked building? Maybe it's easier to say, if I left something
in a locked
building, dot. If I left something in a locked building, I would call the building and ask if I could come and pick it up, right? I would say, please, I need my wallet. What about Valentina?
She says, I wouldn't lose my job in the meantime, so I'm not traveling. Okay, so you can say, I wouldn't like to lose my job in the meantime, so I wouldn't travel. I'll wait for another chance to travel, or I'll have to wait for another chance to travel.
Yeah. Also, I wouldn't travel. Yeah. So instead of I'm not traveling, I mean, it's clear, but if we're talking about second conditional, you would say I wouldn't travel. This is not real. These are hypotheses, right? Remember that they're for dreamers, right? Anytime we use the second conditional, it's not real situations. I would eat a plate of tagliatelle if they were here right now in front of me, but they're not. What?
If you could eat anything for lunch today, what would you eat?
I would eat tagliatelle with porcini mushrooms. What about you?
Oh, I don't know. I would have oven-baked gnocchi is one of my favorite dishes.
That's delicious. I love that.
Or Thai food. I love a green Thai curry.
Oh my gosh, and tom yum kai, like Thai soup. Okay, I changed mine. I would also have Thai soup. I love Thai food too. Do you have Thai food in Freeport?
No. There aren't any. There are Asian restaurants that sell Chinese and Japanese food, but Thai food is difficult to find.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. I would say let's mosey on forward and go here and look at the third conditional. So can you tell us, so we saw that the second conditional is for dreamers. The second conditional is, I would eat Thai food every day if there was a Thai food restaurant right underneath the building I live in, but there isn't, so I can't, right? What is the third conditional now? And Jenna, why do you think that image was chosen?
Yeah. Right. So we use the third conditional when we're talking about the past. Sometimes, often it's when we talk about regrets. So things we can't change now, things that we're imagining a different past. for
Right.
ourselves.
Remember, we can't change the past, right? We can try. We can try. Sometimes people live in the past and try to change the past, but is that useful? Meh. Is it useful to try to change the past? I don't think so. We can observe the past, think of the past, but to try to change it, I mean, we're here in the present, right? We are here now, here in the here and now. So that image right there is showing people at a graduation. In the US and maybe in the Bahamas, when you graduate university, you throw up your cap, right? This thing you wear on your head that's funny, and you throw it up and you say, congratulations, yay, right? So that image is very connected to the idea of regret, right? Because as kids, or as young adults, we study something and maybe later we go, I don't know, did I study the right thing, right? So can you tell us the third conditional, how it is formed? So we saw how the second conditional is formed. Can you tell us how the third conditional is formed? What did you study, Jenna, at university?
French and Spanish for translation.
Oh, for translation, like written translations?
Yeah. We also did some practice with like simultaneous interpreting, consecutive interpreting.
I don't remember the difference between simultaneous and consecutive.
Okay, so with simultaneous, you translate. Okay, as soon as you hear something in one language, you've got to translate it into your language. So that's quite tricky. Whereas consecutive, you listen to an entire speech, and then afterwards you've got to translate. So you're making notes while you're listening.
Okay, interesting. Which do you prefer of the two?
Consecutive. You've got more time to, yeah.
I volunteered at the World Social Forum in 2004 in Porto Alegre in the south of Brazil. And I volunteered doing simultaneous interpreting, and they were really, really smart because there were booths, and they put two people in each booth, and they put a professional interpreter and a novice / amateur / like me in the booth. So it was really interesting. It was very, very, very difficult for me because I had never studied that. I had never done that. And so it was really helpful to have someone next to me. So they were always like on. So I couldn't sustain as much as the other person could, but it was a very beautiful, interesting experience. And I found it really made a difference how much I understood or knew about the subject.
Yeah.
That made such a big difference, but that's cool. Yeah. So did you consider ever doing interpreting?
I did, but around my last year of my university course, I thought it would be interesting to teach, and so I did it almost like a month afterwards. I did a teaching course.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you took your language studies and put them into teaching.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Goodness. So let's see here. Why don't we reveal this? I'll get out my trusty harmonica here. We'll reveal the third conditional. So, as Jenna mentioned, often talks about regrets, looking at the past, right? If plus the past perfect, comma, would have plus the past participle. So let's see some examples. Jenna, would.
Yeah, if I had studied harder, I would have graduated. That's a regret. If I had been born in England, I would have been fluent in English, for example. If I hadn't slept in, to sleep in means to sleep very late into the morning or afternoon. I wouldn't have been late to class.
Yeah, exactly. So sleep very late in the morning. If I hadn't slept in, I wouldn't. So that we see negative, right? If I hadn't slept in, I wouldn't have been late to class. So this one is not easy, but remember, it's talking about the past and regrets. Oh, why did I do that? If I wouldn't have done this, then this wouldn't happen, but it
Mhm.
did happen. So these are things usually that we can't change, right? If I had
Right.
studied harder, I would have graduated. But your friend might say, yeah, but you didn't. So water under the bridge, right? This is a
Exactly.
phrase I really like. Water under the bridge means relax. What's past, what's done is done, is another way we say it.
Mhm.
Done is done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So water under the bridge, relax. What's done is done. So remember, how do we form the past perfect? Maybe that would be helpful. What is the past perfect?
So the past perfect is what a lot of people call the third column, right? So words like been, seen, gone, done, those are past participles.
Right, participle. So we have the subject plus had plus the past participle. I had been to, right? So remember, the past perfect is also called the past of the past. Something before something else. I had seen, I had been to Rome before I went to Bologna, for example.
Mhm.
I had been. So, can you give us some examples? Try them out, even if it's not so clear. We want you to still type, or if you have questions, right? Maybe you say, I don't understand. Write that in a note so that we know. So, we'll try to clarify it more for you because we want you to understand it. We want it to be clear so that you can use it when speaking. Although it's nice not to have regrets in life, right? I
That's true.
try to live in the present as much as possible. But
Hmm.
let's see, for example, if I had been born in Japan, I would probably have been fluent in Japanese.
Probably.
Yeah. Can you think of another example?
Maybe I'll try the example here. If I had studied harder, I would have passed that very important exam.
Is this a true story?
Well, I'm sure it's happened once.
I can think of one. If I wouldn't have gone to sleep so late, I would have passed that exam that I did not pass because
Mm,
I went to sleep too late and I got a D. I got a
great.
D, which is, well, it's not a failing grade, but it was failing enough, which brought my grade point average down, and it was
Yeah.
really bad. It was a jazz arranging class too.
Yeah, bad grade can make a big difference.
Nah, bad grades aren't good. Let's see
So
here.
we've got 3 more minutes. We want to hear your example sentences.
Exactly. We want to hear from you. You know, is the MyES SOS Facebook a page or a group?
Page,
Okay.
I think.
I'm going to write a little.
Page group page, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Scroll across the bottom. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it did. Good. So, well, I think we could review maybe.
Yeah, we
The
really
different-
want to hear your sentences. We really want you to practice creating. You can use the beginning of the sentence if I had been born in England, if I hadn't slept in. But yeah, in the meantime, we can review.
Yeah, we can review second conditional for dreamers, right? Second conditional. Oh, I would have tagliatelle for lunch if they were here, but they're not, right? I would do this if I could. I would, right? Can you give off the top of your head another second conditional example?
Yeah, if I were taller, I would be probably not, but if I were taller, I would be a model.
Okay, fabulous. Yeah, if I were taller, I would be a model. Great example. And then the difference is then when we get to the third conditional, we're talking about Little violin and regrets. No, if I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam, right? If I had made a better move in the card game, I would have won.
Hmm. Yeah, if I had stayed in Scotland, I probably wouldn't have learned Italian.
Yeah, Valentina says, if I had arrived on time, I wouldn't have lost my bus to school. Yeah, I wouldn't have missed my bus. Yeah, good example, Valentina. Good. So we wish you all a very, very beautiful day, a wonderful lunch. Remember, you can visit the MyES SOS Facebook page for more practice. If you have more questions about second and third conditionals, you can go onto the Facebook page of MyES SOS and ask, and someone will answer your questions. So thank you. In 10 minutes, there will be another webinar. And I wish you all a wonderful day. Jenna, have a fabulous day. I am going to have lunch now. Hi, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Cheers.